Sup trends, welcome to my new video. Today it's going to be a slightly different version of a video. A new idea popped to my mind, so I want to go ahead and do it right now. What am I going to be doing today? This is going to be a real talk video, but in the background I'm going to go ahead and backtest to do some multitasking, I have a couple of things on my mind I want to go over, and in the background I'm going to be backtesting, so let's get straight into that. Okay, so I'm going to put myself here, and the main reason of this video, the main topic of this video is going to be how everyone has their own path. Now, when I say that, that kind of sounds generic in a way, and basically it is true. Everyone has their own path. By that I mean somebody can get successful in day trading within 5 months from starting. Somebody can get successful in day trading 5 years from starting. Somebody can get fully profitable, get their first payout in 2 weeks from starting. Not fully profitable, but you get to a payout, pass certain accounts and get to a payout. Somebody needs maybe 4 years. It's always going to vary against people, and it doesn't matter what strategy they trade. That's what I've noticed. So, for example, when I started out my journey, it took me basically 4 years to get to my 3 years to get to my first payout, basically. While my friend, for example, who hopped onto my model, got his first payout in 2 weeks. Now, my student, for example, got his first payout after 7 months. Now, there's students that still haven't got a payout, even though they trade my strategy. For me, it took me 3 years before I could get a payout, and that is exactly what I mean. Not everybody is going to have the same timing of the actual. I'm gonna move myself here, of the actual success. Okay, so what do I mean by that exactly? By that, I mean that even though they trade the same model, they're not going to have a payout within 5 months. It's not going to be the same for everybody, and that is the reason, because the model can be different. It doesn't have to print all the time. No model will print all the time, and that is exactly what I mean, which means that for someone, it's all going to vary on the person. Okay, so if someone was to hop on TMB now because they think they are going to be way more profitable with this model, because they know that this model is profitable, because they have the proof of concept inside me, inside Berg, inside all the other guys who have payouts and stuff, it doesn't have to be like that. They can hop on and the model will have a 6 month like just being bad, whereas you get like 5R 1 month and minus 5R that month and -2, then -3, and you can end negative in the 6 months. And that's completely normal for the model, as we know from the backtested data. But what I'm trying to tell you, the point is, someone who hops on now, maybe we get a win streak and they get a payout, and it's just going to be different every single time, because it really depends on the person. Not everybody is going to have the same journey in trading. For me, after 3 years, I finally passed my first ever account and I got my first ever payout, and then a snowball effect happened for me and I became profitable. It doesn't have to be like that for you. It can take for you multiple years, for example, even though you're trading this model, because you may not get everything in the same it may take longer for you, just maybe because of the model, maybe because of how you actually understand the model. When do you start trading? How do you do DCAing? Everything matters, and that is exactly why I keep telling you boys that everybody is going to have their own journey, no matter what model they trade. Okay, so that is my conclusion. All right, so it is going to be different for every single person out there, and that is just how it's going to go, and that's how it's going to go always. There will be no difference in that. It is for 100% going to be different for every single one of you. So somebody who just hopped into the TMB model or anything, they can start winning, because why not? They can start losing, because why not? And now it all depends on what kind of person you are. If you are a person who actually goes into this game understands the probabilities and everything that needs to be understood about the model and about the variations and about the DCAing, and he just he decides to lock in on the model, and he takes the first 5, 6, 7 months of him learning the model to explore every single part of the model, go deep down into the rabbit hole of exploring the model and finding out what exactly works for the model, what exactly doesn't work for the model, what variation he should trade, what kind of DCA plan fits him. Only then can he succeed in day trading. It completely depends when exactly is that going to be. The model does what it wants. It can have multiple months and then a negative. It can have 2 months where we get 20R in both months, and that's 40R. We've seen both of these phases. We've seen the model be practically go up in the first 4 months in the year for like 14, 15, 18R, and then in the next 2 months it can drop back to 5R. It's just how trading works. Nothing is really going to be profitable all the time. So that is exactly what I mean. There's no such a thing. You just have to completely accept the probabilities of day trading, because that is in the end what we are doing. We are betting on the market basically, not in a gambling way, because we have the edge that we have collected through the backtested data right here. So that's exactly what matters, and that is the only thing that actually matters, the data you have collected and nothing else really. So you have to realize that, and you can't feel sorry for yourself that you haven't succeeded in the first 2 years of your trading. For example, it's not your time maybe. You still have to go through some things, you still have to fix some things about yourself so that the trading can reward you and you can actually become profitable after you have completed some things about yourself. There are some things you need to fix so that you can understand these probabilities of the markets, and you can then start doing things accordingly to that. Okay, so yeah, that is something I've realized within the last few days, especially hanging out with 2 guys that are trying to consistently get profitable and actually do something with their life with day trading and through day trading. And that is something that is, I really respect that, and I'm just trying to make this video to make people understand that not everybody is having the same journey, and that is the key fact of day trading. That's how it's always going to be, and that is my main point basically of this video. I just wanted to tell you boys that this is not something you can just hop into and expect results. Even though the model clearly has results, and even though the model clearly brings results, gets payouts and all that, you can't just have expectations when joining into it, because you have to understand that this is just day trading. It's not going to be always just green all the time. And one thing I always say, even in times like these, you'll see in times where you lose, in times where you're on a losing streak, in times you are losing funding, you are going to see that the grass is greener at somebody else's yard, as they say, and you are going to try to switch, which is the bad choice. You have to understand that the grass is not greener at somebody else. Everyone has losing streaks, and it's just unavoidable in day trading. No matter how small or big they are, it's always going to be there. That depends on your RR and your win rate, on how big the losing streaks will be. But you have to understand that you have to follow your own journey, and you have to fix yourself, and then the model will reward you if you put in enough work that you deserve to be rewarded for it. So you have to grow through all types of shit. For example, why should the model reward you, and why should you be profitable if you haven't put in the work in the backtesting, for example? If you haven't learned the model and then put that model through a series of years, for example, bad years, good years, Trump years, Biden years, Corona years, for example, war years, war periods, and all that. You have to put your model through everything, see how it behaves, and then you have a complete picture of your model. And then you know, okay, it works through everything here, it works through this period was a little worse, blah, blah, blah. And now you know what to expect in the future, and only then can you really hop into it, and you know what you need to do. You know how it's going to go, and you know what you need to expect. You can't expect 100 RR in a year when your biggest year is 80 RR. For example, in the 7 years, for example, you can't expect 100 RR then in the next year. It could happen, but you cannot expect it. The most you can really expect is the average. That's what you can expect, and nothing else. And that's how it goes. That's how it goes. That's how everything goes. So just wanted to put out a few good words there while I do some backtesting. We have news here at 1:30. It's bad news. 1:30 has passed. That was here. We got Philadelphia's New York cross, so we're gonna let that play out. It's Friday, so we have to close at 8. Okay. Nice, boys. And for example, take me into account. I've hopped into the model. I've had some really seriously good timing on the model, and I got rewarded for basically that was how my journey went. I spent 3 years trying to become successful in day trading, testing different edges, staying disciplined with my psychology and everything, and nothing worked until I found this. And I was stuck for 3 years, and then it rewarded me in such a short period. I came to $1 million funding in 10 months, became fully profitable within 10 months from day trading the model, and I went full time within the first 8 months of day trading this specific model. So it's going to be different for every single one of you. That was my journey. For my student, the way it's going to go for him, for example, he hopped into the model through me. In the first 7 months, he got some funding, he got paid out, and then a load streak came in, and now half his funding is gone because we slightly risked higher. Now he can learn from that and accept that this is his journey. Now he has to understand these things about the model. He's got the proof he needed. Not everyone is going to have the proof. He got the proof because he needed it to continue and grind on. For somebody else, it doesn't have to be like that. They can hop into the model and for straight 7 months have absolutely nothing, maybe pass a couple of evals, but that's about it, no payouts. And that's maybe how it goes for you. Maybe for you, you need to realize that, okay, maybe for me, it's not going to go like that. Maybe for me, I have to accept and I have to stay through this period and I have to completely respect the model and keep trading the model even though it's not giving me any money. And you have to go through a period like that and then it's going to reward you. So then you know, okay, this is what I had to go through and now I know, now I learned from this and now I know what to expect from the future. Because if you get payouts straight as you start, you may not get that. And if you keep getting profitable more and more, you may not have that one key thing that you need that you will collect if you go through a lose streak. And then when a lose streak comes around, you'll just quit because you never really expected a lose streak. You never really got it, and then you just realize, this is not for me. I'm just gonna quit this model right now. And everybody does that. We have seen that so many times inside the group, where people hop onto the model, get their first ever payout, their first ever big payout, keep getting payouts, a little small lose streak comes around, they just leave because that's why I keep talking about it. That's not their path. They didn't realize the importance of being able to stick to a losing streaks because you know the winning streak is around the corner. And that's how it goes. You have to realize these things. For me, it's like this. For me, now I realize a couple of things that I didn't do at the beginning because I got rewarded from the beginning of hopping to the model, and now I realize that, and now I'm fixing my mistakes. I'm collecting the data that I didn't have back then, and I'm realizing what the actual model is, where the actual edge inside the model is. Because within the edge of the model, you have the edge on the market with the model, and then you can actually go down even deeper. And with testing the model, you can actually find where exactly can you collect more edge over the market. Or what I mean is you can test multiple things to make your edge even better, which is in the long run going to make you even more profitable. And one key thing that I found out as well is when you are making these slight changes that are proven by your data, you cannot expect to win right there and then. It doesn't go like that. Usually, once you make a slight change in your model, in your live trading, because you make that change because of the actual data, usually you go on a slight losing streak, and that is purely because it just goes like that. it very rarely happens that on this exact thing that you get rewarded. So since the moment you make the switch, you get a winning streak. It doesn't really work like that. Usually it's going to try, that's just how the game of trading works. It's going to try to fuck you up mentally because you made the switch, and you're gonna rethink it twice, and you're gonna maybe go back to what you did or try something else, and then it's gonna fuck you up. But you have to stay disciplined enough and realize, okay, this is the data that I have, and the data tells me to do this, so I'm going to do exactly that, no matter what happens in the next 2-3 months. If I maybe lose for the next 30 months, it's completely fine because I made a choice based on the actual data you have collected. Yes, gents, okay, let's do a couple of my trades and then that'll be the end of the video. A couple of breakdowns. Bias is bullish, we're waiting for a sweep of London lows or Asia lows, nothing happens. Next day, still bullish, let's wait. We have a sweep of the lows of London, we have a sweep right here, bullish candle to the upside, no 15-minute break, this was no fake out, this was the fake out, so now we're waiting for a break structure right there, fib tool, this is actually a fill, check for news, nothing, okay, so no news, so we can actually take this trade. It's Friday, we have to keep in mind the 8 p.m. close for the weekend. So let's just execute this trade, let's see. Okay, close right here. Boom. You also have to realize one thing. Before you make any changes in your live trading, it's the best thing you can do is to collect data on it. If you collect data on it, it's going to be way easier for you. You're going to realize way more things. It's going to be such a good thing that you collect the data and now you know that you are trading based on the data. So you're going to have way more confidence in the actual model. Even when it loses, you will have no problem actually losing because you know what the data did for you. So you know what you have to do exactly. Just so you know, there's a couple of tips for you boys. Bias is bearish, waiting for the highs. Highs taken, fake out was there. Break of structure happened. Can we get a fill before the latest time? We can. Check the news. No news. Execute this trade if the bias hasn't changed, which it did not. Boom. Let's see. This is a Monday. Okay, so we can actually hold. Ooh, nice reversal right there. We got cooked. Okay. 18th. And yes, boys, if you actually accept that and you trade through the data and you accept that you have your own journey, that it's not going to be the same like it was for me or anybody else, you can then really progress far into trading and you can actually make some real good results and actually become profitable long term and stay full time into day trading. If you haven't watched the video about when did I go fully into day trading and when did I make the full switch to full time and how you can do the same and what you need to do the switch, what I think you need, how it was for me, you can watch the video where before the vlog, last one was the vlog, and then the video before that was the actual explanation of me talking about how and what I did to go full time and what maybe you need to do to go full time. How do you go full time in day trading? So that you can feel confident about going to full time if you are thinking about it. Anyway, this was a trade with a bullish bias, sweep of the London lows, fake out, break structure, and then a retrace to 618 and a take profits. Nice. And on this trade, we are going to end this video, gents. Just journal it. And yeah, thank you boys for tuning in for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of different vibe with the backtesting in the background, even though I spent more time talking, but that's just me, how I operate. But yeah, thank you boys for watching this video and see you in the next one. Peace out, gents.